I guess, I don't know if we're ready to go. I know PLD is ready to go.
Okay, I'm gonna give him a countdown in chat. Forgot it had a cutscene. All right, go. Looks like we might be off.
Yeah, go. No cutscenes. Speedrun.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, so here's the Krion Conquest, or Magical Kids Deropi, the Japanese version of it. But and this is the North American release, and this is a much harder game in the North American release. There's they took out all the cutscenes except for the intro cutscene, apparently, and there's no continues. If you run out of lives, it's game over. And a unique thing introduced by the American version, I think it was a result of them removing the cutscenes in between the bosses. Allows you to set up this thing that if you kill yourself on the same frame that you enter the door that transitions to the boss room, you respawn in the next level. So you can use that to skip, realistically, 2 of the bosses. The third one's possible. I actually don't know if maybe PLD's figured it out, but...
I think he said he hasn't yet.
Okay, yeah. It's a pretty ridiculous setup if it's possible. The TAS, I think the TAS does it. If there is a TAS, I've seen a demonstration of it happening. But,
So, part of the extreme difficulty of this game is you do not actually refill your health when you clear a round. So you have, 9 health or something like that to get through the entire round 1, or level 1. So that's what just adds to the extreme difficulty of this game.
yeah, there's a chance for random drops. Health can drop, but it's extremely rare. Like, I've only seen health drop a couple of times total. Like, it does not happen very often.
Don't bank on it.
So this is pretty much Mega Man square root of 2. We'll go with that. It's got a lot of... Oh, he got a drop! He got a drop! Like 1 HP.
This is
Check
the
that
run.
out.
This is the run.
Alright. So you start off with every weapon. There's only a couple of them that are actually useful. Particularly the broom is the most useful. It doesn't have any energy associated with it. You shoot your regular shot with this broom out, and it allows you to just kind of maneuver up, down, left, or right. If the screen is docked towards the edge of a level, you can actually use the broom to speed you up slightly. But the broom can be really scary. Like, if you place the broom and if you jump on it such that like it's too close to the height of your jump, the broom just disappears and you drop. If you walk off the broom, it disappears and you drop. So you want to be really careful when using this broom. It's nasty. So okay, he's going for the strategy at the beginning where he takes a lot of damage. He's only at 2 HP here. He's going to have to make it all the way through the rest of the level this way. I think there's an extra life you'll probably want to grab in this next screen.
You'll probably be grabbing that. So, like Duff just mentioned, there are no continues in this run, and any boss skips he does cost you lives. So on top of the fact that there's no game overs, if he got none of the pickups, he'd have 0 lives left. So
that previous screen with the flame jets, he's skipping
even going
extra life. All right, so the previous screen with the flame jets. Yeah, it's a miracle he actually made it because the hitboxes are huge there. It's kind of weird, but there we go. Going on to the first boss, there's really not a whole lot of action in Act 1, just platforming and being very, very careful. Act 1 bosses and 2 are already can defeat it in 2 cycles with some well-timed shots at the very beginning here. He's going to want to get off like 3 charge shots? I can't really remember.
3 charge shots, yes. This pattern of the lasers is totally predictable. It's the same every time.
But starting with the next act, there's going to be a lot of glitching action in the game. So, turns out that there's a select button in this game. It doesn't really do anything. I don't really understand what's going on with the select button. So, okay, sadly he missed the fast kill here, I think.
And he didn't have enough to use fire at the beginning. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. Normally you use a Phoenix attack. That's right. You don't have enough health, but it cuts your health down by like 3 or something.
Yeah, you need at least 5 health in order to use it.
So yeah, if you press the select button in this game, magical things happen. The select button is only used for glitching the hell out of the game. It has no other purpose. It's really strange how it works. So we'll see that in a little bit. When you press and hold select, it forces you to stand still, but you can move for like 1 frame. and then it just snaps you back into position. You can also jump for 1 frame, but it like snaps you back into position. This allows you to like, when you turn around while standing on the ground, your hitbox moves really far. And you can abuse that by like being next to a wall. You can use it to enter a wall really easily. Or you can use the broom to enter a wall and go up into the ceiling. You can, by holding the select button while inside a wall and pressing jump, you can just ascend vertically, no problem, go into the ceiling and start executing a zip. And you can enter, say, a room below you by just jumping upwards. And yeah, you can wiggle around while inside the wall. There's actually a lot of control in this game when you're out of bounds. It's pretty impressive. So that was really nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of precise movement when you're out of bounds to really get to where you need to go. So it's quite difficult.
So here in 2-2, this first zip is really scary. If he messes it up, you can catch yourself and save it, but it's pretty quick timing. But,
you have to have really good reaction. Yep, you got it. Very good.
And navigating this zip is kind of frustrating too. There's a chance you could die at the end, but he executed it pretty well, and he made it. And you can clip the edges of spikes there and not take damage. You want to explain the full good jump?
Yeah, so basically what happened there is if you hold jump and then you press pause, or is it, do you press, oh god, I forgot the order now.
yeah, you hold jump as you unpause.
Yeah, as you unpause, you hold jump. It allows you to jump out of the menu. However, you can't use it to like jump it infinitely because you have to actually wait for your entire like jump position to like get back down. So you have to let the entire jump pass.
Oh, he's going to try and skip this mini boss. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is a good idea.
Cool, too. I didn't realize that. That's neat.
So that was really nice. But yeah, the weird pause mechanic, like you can jump in midair by holding the A button out of a pause, but only if your original position is lower than the position was when you started falling or started jumping. 2-3 is really broken here.
So he's going for a zip right here.
When you enter a wall, or when you do this zip here, it despawns all the enemies in the entire level. I don't know why, it just does, so no more enemies.
Yeah. So the zip may not save like a ton of time in terms of movement, but it saves a ton of time because of the despawns.
Yeah, it's particularly nice for setting up this last room zip here, which is going to be our entrance to the boss skip. So since this is the third level in the stage, the transitioning out of the final room enters the boss. But when you're out of bounds, there's some instant death tiles all over the place. Okay, let's see if it's inside the wall. Looks like that was good.
Okay, good.
And the thing is, he wants to trigger the transition.
Yeah.
Nice, you got it.
Perfect.
Okay, he wants to trigger the transition into the boss room at the same time he touches an instant death tile. And you'll hear like a sound that you normally hear when you die. And at that point it transitions as well. And that's how you know that you got it. So lost a life, skip the boss.
If he messes up the trigger there, he ends up dying anyway, and he doesn't skip the boss. So it's really unforgiving, that skip.
And if you were playing on the Japanese version, the same stuff happens, except for you just respawn the boss. It doesn't skip anything. I think that's because there's an additional cutscene. And here in Act 3, up until the boss skip area, all of this is just movement through the stage. You have an oxygen meter. You want to periodically jump upwards. And there's just so many enemies in this stage, and again, there's really no real opportunity to refill your health. So there's going to be a lot of points where he's going to slow down and just try and stay alive. It's just really, the positioning of all the enemies is really nasty, but with some nice placement of the broom, you can usually proceed pretty smoothly. But enemies can kind of still troll you in this stage a little bit. Oh, I like this little strategy there. Nice. So no damage so far. This is looking pretty solid, but 3-1's definitely the easiest of the 3 stages here. But it was certainly a lot of fun to figure out how to move through some of these levels. I found that this act was the most challenging to kind of get the hang of. Even though it had no major stuff until the boss zip. There's just so much stuff and so many subtleties in this movement.
There's just enemies all over, so it's just really difficult to avoid them.
You can kill that guy right before he shoots, but it's really, really precise. Let's see here, grab some oxygen. And when you're on the broom, you move at the same speed as you do if you were just on the ground, unless it's docked up against the side of a room. at that point, the broom actually moves faster, and you can kind of gain a small speed boost. So just do that whenever you can. I think my significant contribution to the game was figuring out this boss skip for Act 3, and kind of figuring out the consistency in the boss skips. There's ways to actually make it consistent, because sometimes before it just seemed kind of random whether or not you just died and respawned in the boss or not. But by clever use of the select button and the pause button and jumping while out of bounds, you can get it to work almost every time. And there's certain pixels you can line up, and visual cues on the screen you can use to tell when you're right next to the instant death pixel. And this particular boss skip coming up is really scary, because you realistically, you have multiple shots at it, but if you fail it, you have to react really fast, or else you accidentally fall into the boss room. Because the idea is you got to jump against the wall, hold select and turn around really quickly so that you get stuck inside the wall. And hopefully you do. If you don't, you fall towards the boss room. And if that's the case, then if you can react fast enough, you can pause, unpause, and do a cool kid jump in midair and get out. But since you fall at max speed, you're always accelerating downward. It's just hard to react that fast. So, okay, here we go. Let's see if he manages to pull this out. Oh, wow. Yo, this setup is way easier than what I was doing. Okay, that's how you finish runs. And let's wiggle over to that spot.
Nice.
Select, press A, done.
Well done.
Okay. Hey, then you just place a broom and walk up to the wall. Okay, duh.
Concept. Yeah, I remember when you were doing that zip, I was like, oh, this is complicated.
I would jump off the broom. I would jump off of it, and yeah, it was ridiculous. So, now here we have. This stage is really fun. There's a lot of mashing in this. So he's just lining up his broom so that he enters the wall. He's holding select, and he's just mashing it.
All right.
Great way to play this stage.
We're traveling. I love that sound effect. It's so good.
Like a quick jumping. I can't hear it, but I can imagine it. And normally you have to navigate this whole area using the broom. Yeah. And do a nice pause buffer jump out of there. These spikes are really scary. These guys are also really scary. You really don't want to get hit too much here, because the final stage of this act is really brutal. There's a lot of stuff, and you can take damage to save time in it as well. And but all of stage 1 here, you just zip vertically everywhere. And this is particularly nice because you skip this like annoying, sort of like a mid boss who has a giant hitbox.
Incredibly difficult to not get hit. So.
Yeah. But you just zip right up past him and complete the level, no problem. And I don't think there's, unless he's going to show something I haven't seen yet, I don't think there's any significant zips in this stage. What is it? It's near the end. Yeah, it's right near the end. But this first part, sadly, can't really speed it up a whole lot. But I really like Act 4 just because of the ridiculous vertical zips. And you can start the vertical zip here, but since you're over spikes, it's super scary. Yeah, I agree with this idea. Just go up to this part where you can stand on the ground. And I like how you can jump into the transition, saving a little bit of time. That's kind of nice.
I don't know those mini bosses.
And you have to have your inputs just right when you do this so that you snap back into the center of the screen and don't die instantly against the spikes. And it's really important that when moving this broom around, like he had to aim upwards and shoot just right, because if the broom like collided with the ceiling at all or touched the wall at all, it disappears and you drop, and he'll just die instantly. So the fact that this has been deathless so far has been pretty nice. And you could see an instance of the broom being really nasty here. Like, it looked like he landed on it, but it was too close to the peak of his jump, so it just disappears. It's really weird.
Those traveling enemies right there are kind of some of the hardest enemies to kind of get used to in a casual playthrough. Like, it's really hard to react to them.
I want to see what it's doing here.
I have no idea.
Whoa!
Oh, nice!
Okay, so this is how you save all that time. Alright. Now what? What are we doing now? Okay, cool.
Oh, cool. Alright, yeah.
I didn't even think of it. You just wiggle a little bit to the left. The spikes always were like, the spikes, so you can't do it.
Right. What a concept.
So he's got 5 HP. This is pretty good. You can take some damage here and cross this spike pit coming up.
Yeah.
Use
So
like
lasers? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we just take the damage. Okay.
There we go.
Oh. Wow.
Good.
Yo, oh my goodness. That was amazing. So the lasers have an interesting timing because they fire like 6 or 7 lasers in a row before stopping. So it's kind of hard to like get used to that.
Yeah, sometimes you jump expecting a laser, nothing's there, and you're like, wait, turning back and forth, and you just fall.
Okay.
Okay. What?
I don't know.
So yeah, too bad you can't really skip this boss. You could, like, I've been able to enter the boss room vertically. Like, if you take damage from the guys as they're floating towards you, and then enter the wall and zip straight upwards, you can go past the spikes. That would be the only way to do it, but, I mean, you have to wait so long for those guys to get there, just haven't been able to figure out a way to do it, so. Anyways, this guy, you just get into a rhythm. He's got him stuck in this pattern where he just sits there and punches you with this orb thing. And, yeah, unfortunately, like, this green shot is really slow. It does, like, half the damage of a red shot. Ideally, I think the best way to do this fight, if it was really, really hard to do, though, I couldn't get it consistent at all, is you can actually ride the broom, go all the way up, and shoot him and go back and forth.
That's tough, because he has other patterns that you have to deal with, too, that way.
So these 2 bosses here can be killed instantly. Okay, he's not going for the instant kills. So what you can actually do on these bosses is, for some reason, if you shoot an enemy on the same frame that you run into them and take damage, their invulnerability period goes away, and you can just mash the button and it kills them instantly. It's hard to do at the very beginning of this fight because the boss appears right away, but the second phase here is not too bad at all because you have plenty of time to set it up, but you can just kind of look at the pixel on the ground. And, actually, you know, I never revealed this, so maybe that's why he's not, maybe he don't know his
Thanks for the reveal, because I didn't know.
Okay. Well, one day, guys. But, you don't have much health to do it. It's pretty much a one-shot thing, but yeah. And there's also this final boss is also badass. By the way, this is a really cool final boss. There's also a ridiculous fast strat against this boss where you ride the broom along the top of the screen. But a cool kid figured out how to do this, but it's totally ridiculously hard to do. And he's not going to go for it. So there's like this like weak spot at the top of the screen there, and after a few seconds, the weak spot moves around. And it's actually surprisingly hard to dodge these shots. You really have to lead these shots that the boss is attacking you with. Okay, I like this safe spot up here. I didn't know about this, like, sort of safe spot. The bullets, like, traveling slower, too.
Alright.
Nice. Okay. That's incredible.
It's a great run.
Live Krion run.
Is that time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Let's see what the time was.
That was insane.
Yeah, it was probably a 17:35 or 6.
17:35. Nice.
Wow. That's incredible. The fact that he even finished this run is just amazing because, again, you know, you die once in that run and, you know, without the safety of life, that's it. The run's over. There are no continues, so you can't. You're done. So it's just incredible to see that he finished this and finished with a great time.
Yeah, that was amazing. And I like how the end of the game, there's normally a cutscene that plays. It goes to a nice anime cutscene. There's actually a lot of cutscenes in this game, like Ninja Gaiden style, if you play Magical Deropi. There's all this story in between stages and in between bosses. None of that's in this version. And in fact, it's so just tacked on here that the credits play like on the boss battlefield. It's so weird.
Really?
Like, it's not, this is not how it's supposed to look at all. They really stripped this game down. But this is a super cool game. It's just like, I would recommend just playing around with the glitches. Play this game, hold the select button, and just mess around. It's really cool.
It's really fun. It's a lot easier than you think. It's really just going in there and pressing select.
Yeah, it has no other purpose. Like, select is not used for anything other than just glitching it. It's so weird. But yeah, great run, PLD. That's Krion Conquest done live.